Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast.
Well, let me turn to my guest, who is here with me this morning. The one and only Ron Price is here in our studios. Welcome back to KSJE.
Well, good morning to the one and only Scott Michlin.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Scott. It's been a while. This is my first time on the video aspect.
Right. We had to send you over to hair and makeup before you came here, so now you're here.
I wasn't there long enough.
Oh,
that's all right.
You're fine. But it's good to have you here to talk about some of the things that have been going on in your life. I noticed some of your social media posts about a big announcement, so of course I wanted to get you here to find out what this was all about.
And you got the scoop. This is the
scoop. You heard it here first.
But again, I don't want to build up expectations too high, Scott. I said it was a big announcement, at least for me. I don't want people thinking this is going to be the end of coronavirus
well, that would be nice, but
changing
but this is
the
for
world
you.
over.
But usually, if it involves Ron Price, it's got to be a good thing. So,
No,
what's going on?
Keep talking. I'd rather. You're too kind. On April Fool's Day of 2016, I came out with a 9-chapter ebook called "Play Nice in Your Sandbox at Work."
Right.
Made it to #1 on Amazon. Are you impressed?
I am impressed. I'm impressed enough to show the cover on the screen right now.
In fact, if you look at the top, it says
that's what it says.
Expanded version of the #1. Scott, it's a gimmick. Anybody can be a #1 bestseller on Amazon. I'll tell you how you do it.
Really?
The way I did it was I sold it for 99 cents.
Okay.
And I got everybody I know to buy it at the same time. That's the trick.
Oh.
I had a lady who was coaching me through this. She got everybody in her network to buy it at the same time.
Okay.
So for 2 days and in 3 categories, I was, in fact, a #1 best-selling author on Amazon. I think I made $42.11. It's not like I'm John Grisham or Stephen King or pick a name of a famous author.
Sure.
But it was a fun book to write, 9 chapters. I then expanded it. The cover you just showed is the expanded version.
Right.
It's 26 chapters, 27 chapters of how do you prevent needless, trivial, insignificant, can I say stupid on the radio, stupid things from blowing up on you and becoming a thing. And Scott, I have the utmost respect for you, but I know that in your life, you've had that happen. You've had little things that...
Well, sure.
That not only were they not a hill to die on, they weren't a hill to get sick on, and yet...
Right. That happens.
It happens.
It happens.
So the play is, how do you prevent that from happening? A 4-step model. The nice is, how do you resolve significant differences that you're going to have with other human beings?
Right. Well, these days it's easy, right? Because everyone's working from their house, so I don't have to deal with those people anymore.
We're going to get to that. That's exactly No, you're exactly right.
Okay.
It's been intensified dramatically.
Right. I'm sending you to your own sandbox.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So the nice is, how do you resolve those differences?
Sure.
So then in 2018, I came out with Play Nice in Your Sandbox at Home.
Right.
Why do I think there's a picture of that may be coming on screen?
I've been doing my homework, right? There it is.
Thank you.
Yes.
Play nice in your sandbox at home. Again, same model. Play is, how do you prevent conflict? Nice is, how do you resolve conflict? It's not rocket science. I have not, reinvented the wheel here. But Scott, it does have a lot of good information that people can read and consider. I'll give you a
now that we're all staying at home with our loved ones, that can cause maybe you're hanging around with those people longer than you normally do during a particular week. So maybe some things are coming up to the surface. I don't know.
The opportunities for conflict are rife.
Yeah.
Is that the word rife? I think it is.
I think so.
Look it up for me, would you?
Okay.
R-I-F-E.
Got it.
But yeah, they're plentiful. How's that?
There you go.
They're plentiful.
True.
So one part of my big announcement, and I didn't prep you for this one, so you can't show the picture, but book number 3 is going to be published and in bookstores on November 10th. I self-published the first 2.
Okay.
The third one, can you show
I can show it.
Hold
Look at this one, everybody.
Play nice.
Book number 3.
In Your Sandbox at Church.
It's
what
not
a
even
stupid title that is.
I don't know if it's stupid, but I think it's interesting.
You know, you shouldn't have to tell Christians they ought to get along with each other and how to do it. I thought the Bible already did that.
Well, it does a pretty good job of it, but we always need reminders, I think. And you're the guy to do it, I think, too.
You know, Scott, thank you for that. It was something that I just felt led to do. And what I'm told about my books is that I'm speaking with you. It's almost like I'm in the living room with you. And I love to hear that. I love to hear that because I don't write in $20 words and highfalutin. You're going to go get a dictionary.
Well, you already used the word rife, so I don't know about that. That's about a 1995 word, but okay.
I ruined my reputation. Thanks for pointing that out.
Sure.
But seriously, the chapters are short. And there's always a chapter challenge, and so I'm just thrilled. It's a long story that if we had time, I could tell you how I came about finding this publisher. Now it's a hybrid publisher,
right?
For those of you unfamiliar with the term, I had to put some money in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They did give me an advance. They gave me an author's advance of $100.
Look at you, Stephen King.
I
wow.
know, yeah.
All right.
They told me they do that so we can sell. You can honestly say you got an advance.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
But I had to agree to buy a certain number of books at $2 over their cost. Well, Scott, if I self-publish through what's the Amazon CreateSpace?
Okay.
If I self-publish, it's going to cost me about $2 over their cost.
Okay.
And then I'll have those books that I can sell on my own. So I'm not worried about that.
Sure.
But they're going to do a lot of the marketing. They're going to get it in bookstores, and I'm just pinch me. Am I
Good for
dreaming
you.
about this?
Right. Well, I think that's interesting, to learn from someone who's done it. There's a lot of folks who would like to be an author and maybe have some stories that they'd like to publish, and so this is one way to do it, perhaps, correct?
Absolutely one way to do it. This company that I found, Morgan James Publishing, they publish 200 books a year.
Okay.
They've had, I think, 3 or 4 on the New York Times bestseller list recently, some big books.
Right.
The Bezos Letters is one. And
well, you're in good company.
I'm in very good company, and I still laugh at this. I have an author relations manager.
Well, it's about time.
I have an author support team. I mean, I'm serious. You know, it's funny. When you write a book, Scott, people go, ooh, you wrote a book. Stop it. Do you know there's going to be 1 million books published this year, self-published this year? In the America alone.
Sure.
A lot of people have written books.
Well, but a lot of folks talk about wanting to write a book, but I think there's a few of you that actually go out and do it and accomplish it. So there is that.
I tell folks modest. It took me 30 years to write my first book.
Right.
28 years wanting to, and probably 2 years actually writing.
And now
you're right.
And now you're chucking one out every few years. So
man,
look at this.
I think I'm done. I'm done.
You said that last time.
I
think you said that last time.
No, I didn't. Stop it. So anyway, that's part A of the big announcement.
Okay.
Part B.
The third in the series.
Third in the series, yeah. But part B. Times are hard right now. People are struggling, and I hope we have time. I want to give a few tips that people can put into practice, into operation.
Oh, I hope you will. Yes.
I was telling you off air, there's a stupid saying going around right now. In 9 months, are we going to have more babies or divorces?
Right.
And it's kind of lighthearted and comical in a way, but it's also...
Well, like I said, people are staying at home and staying with each other, and maybe a little more close contact than they have. Folks aren't going off to work, so yeah.
We know we're going to have a lot of financial bankruptcies. People are just not going to be able. They didn't plan well, or they weren't prepared, or whatever.
Who could plan for this? Really, I mean, no fault of their own. I don't think, but still,
absolutely, you're right. Thank you. But we're going to have some family bankruptcies too, unfortunately, and I hate that.
Right.
So,
and relationship struggles. You have to see that too.
Do you know why? You know why relationships are challenging?
I wish I knew. If I knew that, I'd probably be in one.
Answer.
But yeah.
They're imperfect human beings trying to relate with other imperfect human beings.
Well, that'll do it.
It will.
That'll do it.
It will do it. Scott, there's times I don't like myself. What's the chance that I'm going to like another human being 100% of the time? I mean, come on, it's nil.
Right. That's true.
So
Good
you
point.
put imperfect people in close proximity under the best of circumstances. There's going to be conflict at times. You now add in this COVID-19 nonsense.
Right.
Skyrockets.
And health issues and financial issues and business issues.
And friends and family who are contracting the disease. And it's...
Yeah.
It's our whole world has literally been turned upside down. I think I can use the word literally.
I think you can,
certainly
because
figuratively.
I think we would understand that, certainly. When you think about, even here at the college, we were talking about that too, and, the life before spring break, and then you have life after spring break,
right,
and it's a whole different scenario. I mean,
it was eerie coming in here this morning.
You were about the only person in the building, you and me. That's true. But yeah.
So next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday, tax day.
Okay.
Oddly enough.
But it's not tax day anymore.
Well, that's true.
But it used to be.
Would you stop wrecking my illustrations?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. April 15th. It's a day that will live in infamy,
That's
I know,
right.
for a lot of folks.
That's right. I'm going to be doing a free webinar.
Okay.
For whoever wants to tune in. I'm going to do it by Zoom.
All right.
But anybody who wants to tune in and learn some specific tools, tips, and techniques that might help them to weather the storm. Let me give you one right now. I haven't shared this anywhere else. In fact, I just learned it over the weekend.
Okay, all right.
I'll do this off air, but I challenge people now, take some time and write down the top 100 events of your life. What are the top 100 fun memories, special moments?
Okay.
Just take some time to reflect on those. Now, at my age, 100 is going to be easy. Younger folks, it may be more of a challenge. So do 50, do 25.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's not a contest. But take some time away from the nonstop blitz of negativity and hard news to take, and start to look at the good in life.
Okay. And we're looking at more positive events rather than negative events, is what you were telling me too, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Favorite vacations.
Sure.
One of mine might be, we were laughing about this. I was your guest across the way back when we were just on radio, and just as you were going to go on the air, I had a coughing fit coming on. So just as you're about to introduce me, I got up to walk outside to cough, and the look on your face. Scott,
yes, I remember.
Where's my guest going?
Yes, in our other studio, when I had to turn my back to you to start the show, and I didn't know that you were getting up to leave, and then I saw him getting up to leave, and I didn't know what was going on.
I'm sorry.
But he came back in. I'm so grateful that you came back.
I am so glad.
It'd be hard to fill the hour by myself.
I didn't want to cough on in the microphone.
Understood.
So.
Right.
But that's another point, Scott. People aren't laughing enough today. Laughter is a great medicine. It's
Very
a great
true.
medicine. They're not sleeping well enough. There's reasons that this stress is having more of an impact on us than maybe it should. I mean, there is the reality of the stress factors, being out of work, wondering about paying the bills, and
well, that uncertainty, things. I'm sure, has a big impact, right, on a lot of things.
How much longer is it going to go on? We don't like limbo. We don't like uncertainty.
That's right.
So take some time and figure out the top events of your life.
Okay.
And relish them. Think about them. Recall to mind how they made you feel. I just got one right now of scuba diving one time, and I was in this group, and I had kind of gotten away from them a little bit, and they signaled me back. They said, go like this. I went like that. They put a baby octopus in my hands. And
how about that?
Whoa.
That doesn't happen every day.
That doesn't happen
Not
every
New Mexico.
day. And it's funny, too, because after a while I said, wait a minute, who's holding who? Here.
Right.
But that was a special moment. And when I think about that, I can relive the emotions. I can feel now what I felt then. And so I challenge people to think about those positive things, the important moments. I still remember the first time I held the Play Nice in Your Sandbox book, the actual book in my hands.
Right.
Scott, I've never had a child, but I can imagine I felt the same feeling that a father would feel, or a mother, the first time they hold their child. That was my baby.
Right.
And I remember
see
that,
it,
and I
sure.
can conjure up those feelings now if I'll stop and think about them.
Well, and one of the things that this whole coronavirus has done is, I think, given people a lot more maybe time to spend with each other, and that can be used for good and positive things. And so this could spark some conversations, I would think, this list that you're asking us to make.
Which leads to another thought. Yes, because do it as a family, too. Have every individual do it themselves.
Right.
Children included.
Sure.
And again, they don't, 5 or 6 year old probably isn't going to have 100 that they can think of to write down, but 5 or 10, whatever. But then talk about them and relive them and laugh together, just like you and I did over my silly coughing fit.
I can laugh about it now. Yes.
We're not laughing enough. We're not sleeping enough. We're not taking care of ourselves because of the stress, and it's causing undue hardship.
Right.
So take some time to do this together as a family, do it separately as well. Take some time for yourself anyway. Yes, you're probably going to be in the same home if you're same house if you're following the governor's guidelines. And I go to work every day because I work by myself. I see fewer people at work than I do at my home.
At home, so you're good.
I feel like that's okay. Yeah, but it's amazing to me how many people think they're essential. These days. So.
Well, again, and the whole idea is to just keep following those guidelines, and maybe we can get through with this faster than if we don't. Is the idea?
And that's the other thing, Scott. Don't watch newscast after newscast after newscast. Read article after article, post after post after post. After a while, thank you for what you're doing, keeping us updated at 9:00.
Sure,
that's probably enough.
I would hope to think so, but I understand people would like more, but you can overload it too.
You can overload it, exactly right.
And I understand people that need to take a break. I totally understand that. Sure.
Because after a while it consumes you. And your whole outlook on life is negative and down. And I challenge people, go back 6 months to a year and pick the worst day that you can remember. And on that day, ask yourself, or thinking of that day, how many billions of people on this planet would trade places with you right then and there? You can do it right now, folks. I mean, these are some of the worst days right now. How many billions of people on this planet would trade places with you right now? How many thousands of people in San Juan County would trade places with you right now? And I'm not saying, okay, that's going to make me feel better. Other people have it worse than me. No. But it's a little bit of perspective. This too shall pass. We're going to get through this. I firmly believe that. I think things are going to come back to never normal. We'll have to create new normals.
Right. True.
But it's going to come back, and we'll get through this.
Right.
Let's stay intact. So here's another huge tip that people need to know.
Okay. All right.
When emotions are starting to get strong, you need to call a timeout. But you got to do it right. A timeout can either be very effective or it can be very destructive. Ask me how.
All right. How would that be, Ron Price?
Thank you, Scott. That's a good question for a host to ask. I'm sorry.
We didn't rehearse this at all, everybody.
I know.
I'm just letting you know.
I know. Thank you. We never do.
No, we don't.
That's a confidence that you place in me, and I appreciate that. But I absolutely place in you. A lot of times I want to hand people, hey, here's some questions that you might want to consider asking. I've never had the desire or need to do that with you.
I'm just naturally curious about it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You care about your guest. You're listening. You're paying attention, even though you're still...
I've got a lot of buttons over here, but I'm still trying to pay attention. Yes, sir.
Do we take a break during this, or we go the full?
We don't.
We go the full 3 hours?
The full 3 hours. Yes, exactly.
I'm kidding, folks. Stay with us.
That's right. That's right.
If you just say to another human being, time out, and you walk off, you're probably doing more harm than good.
That's not good. That's not a good way to do it.
It's not a good way to do it. Because while in your mind you're rejecting the argument, you're leaving them to wonder, well, are they rejecting me? Are they walking out on me? Are they leaving me? They don't know.
Right.
So here's a huge rule.
Okay.
Whoever calls the time out must call the time in. If I say to you, Scott, I can't talk to you right now, time out.
Okay.
I need to follow that up with, but I will talk to you in an hour at 3:00.
Okay.
7:00, whatever.
Okay.
Typically within 24 hours, except by mutual agreement.
All right.
So that way the other person knows, okay, we are going to get to talk about it, just not right now. What I teach people is to avoid emotional hijackings. You have a part of your brain that thinks right here in the front called the frontal lobe.
Okay. If you say so.
I say so.
I don't know if I can.
And one of my very bad jokes is I would rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy, but we won't. Yeah, thank you. We won't tell that one again.
Right.
But that's the command center of the brain. Where
you're
thinking, where you are right now. You're paying attention to my words. You're thinking, giving meaning to them. You're operating in the frontal lobe. We also have the deep limbic system, or the amygdala, the seat of emotions. If you're happy, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're excited, different part of the brain that's in operation. And what can happen to us as human beings is we can get so upset about something, so agitated, so irritated, we will literally shut down that thinking brain, get right into the emotional brain. And when that happens, Scott, the best of us are capable
It takes over, right?
Road rage happens there.
Yes.
Going postal happens there. Saying and doing things that you would never say or do if you were in your thinking.
Right. Interesting.
We have to avoid that, and one way to do that is a timeout. You're reaching for the mouse. Do we need to do something?
No, I'm just reaching for the mouse because I'm on camera and you're talking. So I think you should be on camera.
Well,
so
thank you.
I wanted to click that. Sometimes I have to. But there you go. You look good. No, you look good. Yeah. There you go.
Can I look at me now instead of looking at you?
You can look at you. I'm going to do that. There you go. How's that?
Stop it.
See, there he is.
No, put you back.
There's your close-up.
Put you back.
There you are.
So call a timeout of at least 30 minutes. Give yourself a chance to calm down. Because your adrenaline is going, your cortisol, all those bodily systems are racing. But establish a time when you will come back and talk to the other person. By the way, there's two things you can say to another adult. You can say, I need a timeout, or we need a timeout. What should you never say to another adult?
I would think you need a timeout is something you should not say if you want a place to sleep that night.
You will find out how much they need a timeout. Yeah,
right.
Not a good thing to say.
No.
You know, some people, it seems like they like to get angry. I once told my dad that. I said, Dad, I think you're happy when you're angry. Ooh, he got happy. But anyway.
I bet he did. Told you about it, too.
So let me check my cheat sheets here.
Okay.
Yeah, the 100 top things to do in life. That's going to be a good antidote to think.
Okay. And visit with it together if you're with a family, right?
Yes.
Or a significant other or whatever, spouse, whatever.
You know what? I don't do this on Facebook, but somebody's take the idea. I don't care. It's not mine. Challenge people to do that and share on Facebook some of the top 100 events, things they like to think back and recall that bring them joy.
Sure.
And give them hope that, you know what, better days are ahead of us.
That's true. Very good advice.
Avoid emotional hijacking,
Right.
time out, time in. Here's another one that I like real well. I write a blog every other week or so, and I wrote about a month and a half ago, Be Disruptive. Be disruptive.
Be disruptive.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I started off by saying, you know, when I was young, I got in trouble for being disruptive more times than I want to recount.
Okay.
But now I'm suggesting be disruptive. So you're having an argument with a close friend, a spouse, whatever.
Sure.
As soon as you think of it, say, you know what, hold on. I need some fresh air. How about if we go out for a walk and let's talk about this on the way? You're disrupting the cycle of, oh yeah, the negative interaction. You're disrupting that.
Okay.
And hopefully on the walk, you can practice some more proactive listening. You can say something like, you know what, we've been talking at each other, not listening. Why don't you go first? Help me to understand your viewpoint. And I'm just going to listen. And I'm going to prove to you that I understand. That's again, proactive listening as I feed back what I've heard you say.
Right. Interesting.
And then hopefully it's my turn. So again, disrupting. You're having
and changing the environment, I guess. Would that
changing the environment? Thank you.
That helps. Maybe make it different, a new perspective on things. Maybe,
As
perhaps.
my Jewish grandmother used to say, it couldn't hurt.
There you go. Okay.
So yeah, changing the environment. Back when we can do this again, you're having an argument with your teenager. You can just say, you know what, hold on. I just all of a sudden have a hankering for an ice cream cone. How about if we drive down and get an ice cream and talk about this on the way?
Okay.
So again, changing the environment. I love the way you put that.
Interesting.
Disrupting the cycle, getting out of it, and hopefully leading to
there you go.
A more conducive.
And I know if there's a drive-through window, you can still get an ice cream. So it's still possible.
Is there? I bet there are. Yeah, we
sure.
can't. This is non-commercial, so we can't name them. But
I'll name them. Dairy Queen. I'll name it. You know, okay. I think Vanilla Moose was open for a bit to walk up. So anyway, there you go. Check it out,
they
everybody.
Should be opening. So on weekends anyway. Vanilla Moose. Yeah, there you go.
See?
So again, just some tools, tips, techniques that I'm going to share on Wednesday,
April 15th.
April 15th.
So how do we find this address to join you on Zoom? Will it be on your website, Facebook page?
It'll definitely be on my Facebook page.
Okay.
I'll be sending it out by email and LinkedIn, and it'll be a Zoom. Actually, I can give it now if people want to write this down. The Zoom address will be 201-898-2850. What did I just say? 201.
I don't know what that. Yeah, is that
898? That's my personal Zoom.
That's your account ID, meeting number.
So people go with the set time, log in, and I'm thinking I should do this at 10 in the morning, right after our show.
COVID. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it then. And then they can watch me for an hour, and then they can come right back to KSJE.
There you go. We're okay with that. That's perfect.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it 10 o'clock.
Nice.
On Wednesday the 15th at 201. This is the Zoom ID, 201-898-2850.
I'm impressed that he's memorized that, everybody, but he has. But that's good.
You know what somebody did? Somebody I found out had their phone number as their personal Zoom ID meeting. I didn't even know you could do that. But that's another point. There's stuff we can learn all the time, Scott. None of us has all the answers.
That's very true.
And in fact, people who think they know it all are awful annoying to folks like you and me who really do.
Well, I always have said that, Ron Price. So that's very true. We just have a couple of minutes remaining this morning, and so again, I want to remind folks about your books that are out, and the third one that is coming. The big announcement, of course. But Play Nice in Your Sandbox at Work. So
it's available for pre-purchase now, but please don't. But you can see it. It's on at Amazon. You can see a cover of it on Amazon. Play Nice in Your Sandbox at Church.
But when we get back to work and working with our coworkers and our other fellow cubicle dwellers, this is something to think about.
I'm glad you asked that. Everything in that book applies at home. Go ahead and show the at-home book as well. Everything at work is applicable at home, and I highly recommend that you especially read the first 8 chapters. Probably about 80 to 90% of what's at home is applicable at work and at church.
Right.
And probably 60 or 70% of at church is applicable at work and at home, because relationships are relationships, Scott.
That's true.
People, whether they're at work, home, or church.
Right.
How do we get along? How do we play nice in the sandbox? Do you want to try to give away a couple of books if people email you? Or
let's do that, folks. If you are listening and you would like a copy of Ron's book, he promises he will wipe it down with Lysol and put it in an envelope and send it to you. So we'll just get your address, but you can either comment on our Facebook video this morning, or you can let's just do it that way. That'll make it easy. Just heard you on the radio. Ron Price is wonderful, and we'll contact you, and we'll get your address and all the other pertinent information, everybody. But let's do that. So just go to our Facebook page and comment on this video, and we will get your book. And we have both versions here, right?
One of each, so at work and at home.
There you go. And the Play Nice at Church is coming out when?
November 10th, they tell me, is the official release date. So
you have written this already, pretty much, right? It's already
it's written, done they're doing
all their stuff,
fancy work putting it together. I should have books in hand in July, I believe.
Okay,
but
very good. Well, that's very exciting.
We'll see.
Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Ron, and sharing all your success with us. Appreciate it.
That was 3 hours that quick.
I know. Goes by.
It does.
Very quickly, but we'll have you back.
It's a joy, Scott. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Ron Price, my guest here on KSJE. I'll be back with more, everyone, in just a moment. The time right now is 8:40. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.